I mean, as the panel has already pointed out, Semler, this is going to be an uphill struggle for them.
Yeah, well, this entire tournament is going to be an uphill struggle for Renegades. They have a lot to prove. I mean, it's been brought up as well on the desk that both of these teams kind of had a similar path, right? Coming from areas in the world where there wasn't a whole lot of competition. They both moved to North America. Luminosity thrived and became the best team in the world. Renegades, they've been struggling since to really have that impact and to show us those results that we've all expected, you know, since the beginning of last year. So right now, it's all on them. I think the pressure is on them to come up big, and it's on the T side as well. So they're going to be the ones setting the pace here.
Yeah, so there's actually a counter boost that's happened. This is FNX being boosted up in a position he's not supposed to be in, and he did get the kill on Azza, and that's a fantastic start. A really big risk. It's very common for the terrorist side to check for that particular counter boost, but this time they forgot to do it, and it punishes them really hard. Now they're down a man, and I think even Luminosity have a very good read on what's happening right now. They know that JKS is in this position because Fur has already been out there in the middle to check it, so Renegades are going to have a hard time coming back into this first round.
And this is exactly what you would expect from a team of Luminosity's caliber. They're not going to let Renegades set the pace. They're not going to let them get control of the map. Instead, they go aggressive in the first round of the map, saying, we actually don't respect you. You need to make us respect you. We're going to come and take the fight to you. And now that we have the edge, we have the advantage, we're making you sweat because we all fall back to the bomb sites. No more free kills here for Renegades.
Now, I have no idea. Luminosity are taking a risk that they're not supposed to be taking right now. They could just stack evenly in the bomb sites, but if Taco goes down, then the rotation is going to be really long for the rest of Luminosity to get to the B bomb site. I'm not sure this is going to be worth it here. And Renegades, they might actually have found a really good timing. Taco going to bring down one, but JKS, great follow-up, taking down FNX, and now it's a 3-on-3. They're going to get a bomb plan out of this. Renegades are doing a really good job right now.
Yeah, Sponge makes his way onto the site, and now it's down to the retake here from Fallen and Fur, but that smoke going off, it's actually going to help Fallen. He gets the drop on Sponge, misses the shots, though. So a bit of a wasted opportunity there. He's down to 7 HP, Fallen. A lot of this is going to come down to Fur, and Sponge gets a knife kill in the first round of the tournament. What is this? Chaos in the end on the site.
Well, all right then, Captain Australia, just making that one work. I can't believe it. They must have had, I might have missed what information Luminosity thought they had to make that rotation to A, but the normal setup for this map is you having 3 or even sometimes 4 people in the B bomb site just by default, and then one guy hanging around A and trying to get some information. They got the early kill, so now it makes even more sense for them to have sort of a good stack towards B, and they somehow failed to do that. So they must have had information that we just don't know about.
Exactly. It smells of anti-strat.
Yeah.
You know, Fallen maybe thinking, Zeus maybe thinking, right, you know, this is their favorite kind of strategy that they want to go for. We're going to try and set up to counter that, and instead they get punished on Luminosity's side. Now it's up to Renegades. They have the guns. Great pop flash right in first face, but nobody checks the angle. Fur, he's in a great spot to do massive damage, but they do turn around just in time. He only gets the 1 kill. How does that even work?
I think just as he's fired that CSET 75 pistol, he actually got flashed, so he couldn't even follow up on it. That's just really dumb timing. But this will be a bomb plan, and there's almost no way that Luminosity could do anything here. I'm not quite sure why they're running away. Normally, you'd want to do this if you had a lot to save. They don't have any Kevlar vests. They have an upgraded pistol. Taco's got the 5.7, but apart from that, there's not a lot for them to save right now. You could even see sort of the combined value on their team is $700. I mean, maybe they could find a gun somewhere, but I'd rather they stay and look for exit kills.
These are all details, right? They want to avoid Azza. They do not want to feed more kills to that SMG. The SMGs in this game will give you more money than a pistol kill or a rifle kill. And so when you notice your opponents don't have Kevlar, exactly, that's why Azza's hopping around like a rabbit right now looking for kills. He wants to make as much money as possible off of this gun. So he already has 3 kills with the MAC-10. That's a lot of cash in his pocket. But going into the rounds, well, no luck for FNX either. He gets taken out by Yam. But going into the further rounds, that $1,800 that he made bonus could actually come back to haunt Luminosity.
Yeah, not a great kill for at the end there, jumping with the Galil, but it did work, and that's all they're really interested in. So a really good start here for the Australian side. After what I would have to consider a missed call for Luminosity, and we were just hyping up how good Fallen is. I don't think that was sort of misplaced hype, but I mean, that kind of call could really come back to haunt them. Now, there again, with just pistols and no armor, this is going to be the 4th round that they'll be able to buy anything in. So this is just about sort of doing some damage to Renegades, see if they can't steal a couple of rifles or maybe force them into some sort of bad situation, but 9 times out of 10, Renegade should walk away with this one. It's a clever boost, though. Creative boost.
Yeah, it's just that information that gets gained. I mean, this Taco actually has a P250 as well, so it is worthwhile. Upgraded his pistol, so he'll do a little bit more damage long range. Renegades, they're taking their time with this. Straight default round, and that means that they're just kind of holding against all the points that the counter-terrorist side could push. So they're just basically waiting to see if Luminosity are going to get cheeky and try and go for some kind of crazy play here in this round, try to push them anywhere. But it doesn't look like it. Luminosity, obviously, with the setup, the 4-man stack on that B site, all they're going to do is sit and wait for Renegades to come knocking.
Yeah, what is good fun is you can obviously tell that if anyone does jump off the balcony or off the plateau here and goes into the B-bomb site, then they will be faced by 4 people at the same time. So there's actually 4 people here ready to jump out. The problem is, if Renegades are clever right now, they use grenades to check these common spots instead of just walking in. And you can tell how cautious they're being already. You steal over the good shot there to take out Fallen. And you see one engagement and they're falling back. This is smart play.
He spotted 2 people, and he spots, I mean, Taco being boosted up there also means that somebody is standing, obviously, under Taco. So Lucilla gets a lot of information as far as the setup is concerned for Luminosity there. He sees just how many bodies are there, and so he knows that this is a hard eco. Just call instantly for the rotation, go towards that A site, get that bomb plant for free, and really don't risk giving up any free kills here to Luminosity. And as I say it, Fert, with the USP, instant headshot on Ustillo and drops him. That's actually a Galil. No, he had a P90. Okay, so FNX will be able to pick up that P90.
Yeah, which is actually great because they can use that. They don't even have to throw that away. That's a valid weapon to have in the 4th round. Taco hiding behind the rock here, as are not going to get any more Mac 10 kills. So already a slightly expensive round for Renegades here, and JKS will take care of FNX at least. So Taco and Fur are left. Maybe Fur could pick up another kill here. That'd be a bit annoying for Renegades.
He's been spotted out, putting shots with the USP. With those silencers, you don't see the tracers, and so it's a little bit hard to make out where he's coming from, but they do figure it out eventually, Renegades, and Sponge is taking out Taco in the meantime. JKS will find the kill on Fur, and the first 3 rounds, everything going according to plan here for Renegades. They pick up the pistol round, so they get to buy the guns early, and then they farm up the next 2 rounds in preparation for this one, where Luminosity, wow, Luminosity, they are not messing around, Anders. Straight double up from them in the first round. So the hard eco, basically, them not even investing in Kevlar, it's all about getting as many nades as possible in this first buy round for themselves, but also it appears the double op setup right out the gates.
Yeah, and you know, Mo was bringing that up, that he felt 1 AWP is definitely a good investment on this map, but 2 of them probably a little bit too much. And I'm tempted to agree with that. I think it's difficult because you also often end up retaking, and it's hard to do. And look how much speed is behind this for Renegades. They're just charging in there, but Cold already picking up 1. There's FNX with a follow-up. LG, they're having a really tight defense, and Renegades not going to make it through this time. JKS all alone. He's going to go down. I love the change of pace. I mean, that's designed to catch Luminosity off guard. And against a double AWP setup, it could have actually definitely worked. But when both the first kills in that round go in favor of Luminosity, I mean, what could you really expect?
Yeah, Cold, key, you know, from Chicken Coop. He picks up the first kill with that AWP, right? And that just puts a wrench in things for Renegades right off the bat. They have a lot of difficulty just, you know, recovering and trying to pick up that momentum to get onto the site. They did get a kill on Taco, but by that time the damage is done. So, I mean, I do appreciate Renegades, you know, trying to go for the change of pace. Obviously, after they played the first 3 rounds really slow, you know, they're trying to teach Luminosity, hey, we're going default, we're not playing fast, we're going to take our time.
Look at the Swedish influence coming into Renegades here. Sponge and JKS right now setting up for some smokes that Nip actually designed, or maybe more accurately Threat from Nip, who's the coach, ended up designing. So those smokes are going to land in the B-bomb side, even though they're thrown from the middle of the map, and that might actually throw Luminosity off. Even though they have 3 people over here, they're hearing them walk down here. Taco taking a fight, but coming out on the short end now. Fallen has to go big with this AWP. Close range, he gets the first shot. Oh no! He no-scopes and takes out JKS, and that is not what they were looking for. Now, FNX going to get the follow-up kill on Yam, and it's up to Sponge. Try and win that fight. If he had, maybe there would have been a chance here. The bomb is down, but I don't think he could stop it from being defused. What a round, and Fallen, we did talk about his AWP style, and that's just terrifying.
It's the 5th round, Anders, and he's already doing this. What else is Fallen gonna do? That is nuts. You write him off as a dead man. If he's holding that close with the AWP, he gets that 1 shot off, and you're like, right, that's the one that he'll get, and then he should get traded effectively. JKS just gets annihilated. Fallen so quick. This is why this guy's getting so much attention right now, and there's even an argument to be made that he is the best opera in the world. He's just so fast and versatile.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Just to point out, that's obviously the weak spot of having a sniper rifle is when people get close and that scope is not going to be that useful. As soon as you unscope with the sniper rifle, what we call a no-scope, it's very inaccurate, it's very hard to hit shots with, and he did it anyway, so that's going to be just a little bit annoying, because they must have known, Renegades, that they had him cornered then, that was supposed to be just an even trade, which would have worked out fine for them. They did get a bomb plant, so they have a little bit of money, and they have upgraded some of their pistols, but without the body armor, they should not be around where they get more than a couple of kills at most.
Yeah, I'm glad that they elect to go for the half buy here, Renegades. They're just evening their money out so that in the next round they can go for the AWP on Yam. They can buy everything that they need, all the grenades for an execute. They've already shown us that, you know, they're open to go for the executes as well with that strat in the last round. That's the problem with that strat in the last round, though, is that if you have somebody holding close on B, when those smokes come in, but you're not hearing any footsteps, it's just like, okay, well, there's smokes, but I'm still not hearing anybody, so hold your positions on that A site. It does take a lot of time to get that strat rolling behind those smokes. So we'll see if Renegades elect to use it again.
Well, this time I think they're just playing for the bomb plant. They got the 2 smokes down, they got some follow-up flashbangs. I think you just need 1 kill here and they could get the bomb plant down. I don't think they'll win the round behind it, but, you know, it's still an $800 bonus for everyone on the team, win or lose the round. So that's definitely going to be a good time. Cold Sierra, again, back here by the chicken coop. Fallen taking a kill before he goes down, but Yam can't do much with this Deagle. It's definitely a good pistol, but they've got him cornered up here on the plateau, and it will be Cold Sierra picking up a double kill and equalizing the score as well, making it 3-3.
Yeah, and right now it feels like Luminosity after the bumpy start with the pistol. Everything is kind of just restoring order here. 7-0-3 for FNX so far. He's just like manhandling Renegades. We've seen some flashy plays from Fallen, but FNX, he is also a player that doesn't get as much attention. You know, Cold, Fallen, everybody talks about them, but FNX is so consistently good for Luminosity. I mean, just quiet frags, but look at him. He's at the top of the scoreboard right now, just shutting out Renegades. So we have to keep an eye on him as well.
Well, the Australian side, back with the rifles this time around. They do have that and 3 Molotovs, which is very important for clearing out corners, including this one that Fur is holding. The only thing is that Cold Sierra is on the crossfire, so when they peek this corner, they're going to be all focused on Cold Sierra, and they might just forget about that corner. That's all that LG want right now, but JKS, he did check it, but still couldn't win that fight. He jumped into the angle, and his aim was just a little bit off there. Cold picking up crossfire, working out great right now, and oh no, has to run away in the fire. Or Azza almost going down.
That was so close, and he nearly got the drop on him as well. FNX not going to have any impact, but now Taco, he's closing off that angle so that Azza has to walk into his crosshair. Ustillo is taken out Fallen, so they are actually bringing this back to a 3-on-3, but Taco, he will not get caught off guard by Azza. Finds that kill, and so it's just a man advantage now for Luminosity going into this. Ustillo, though, he does work. I mean, this is what is necessary. You need players like Ustillo now to come in and just win those duels straight up. Renegades lacked that firepower in the past. Ustillo showing that he was worthy, you know, to join this roster.
Well, look at the lack of respect on Fur. He just charged for the smoke. Cold Sierra gonna, again, almost point-blank range, take out Ustillo, and now Yam alone here. The AWP, if he misses a shot, they're gonna know where he is, and probably he's gonna end up going down. This is a very, very risky position to be in. He walks forward, and Fur, strafing away, ends up getting that frag, and Luminosity will win the round.
Yeah, tough timing there for Yam. Fortunately, he just barely misses them as they went past.
Fur on the camera here that we just saw, and just to point out again, running through smokes like that into a bomb site is very risky. If someone had been spotting it, he would have probably been dead. So, bit of a risk taken on his part, but it works out just fine.
I mean, as Luminosity chain rounds together here, now they've put 4 in a row. So long as Renegades can continue getting bomb plants, they will be able to continue buying. So we see them kind of, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. They at least have the rifles to work with, but they don't have many nades. So I'm curious to see if Sponge is going to call for a bit of change of pace here, try and go for the aggression again, straight out onto that B plateau. They seem to know that, well, one op is at least holding on that B site, but it's not going to be the case this time around. It looks like Renegades, they want to go towards A. See if they can't put some pressure on those apartments, and right now it's only Fur holding over there, so Renegades, they've actually made a good call here.
Oh, if they could get the kill on Fur. They have him sandwiched in. He's very close range here. Fallen's taken down 1. Fur gonna go for the fight, and still a 2-for-1 trade here, so Luminosity coming out ahead in this early exchange.
Spotted the bomb, though, and we see that rotation coming out. FNX, he's already there to support Fallen on that A site. And now Renegades, they've kind of been whittled down already. Azza, he's alone over on B. He's looking for the pick on the rotator coming over for Luminosity from that B site. But as long as that smoke stands, exactly, he's blind. He's just got to sit here, cross his fingers, and hope that he'll get lucky and catch Taco off guard. But Taco's holding very passively right now. Not even an angle here for Azza to take advantage of.
And this is very difficult right now because they'll have so much advanced warning if this A attack comes through, and as long as it's not happening, they are ready to rotate into the B bomb site. And with Cold Sierra again in the back line there by the chicken coop, it's going to be so hard to root him out. They do have 1 incendiary there on JKS. That might be the only tool that could get rid of Cold Sierra right now. Otherwise, they might lose just too many members trying to peek him. That's a great headshot from Azza, taking down Taco, going into middle and facing Fallen, and he comes out again on the bottom end of that one, but that's a fantastic shot. Yam taking out Fallen, and now Cold has to retake with the AWP.
That was the must-hit shot with an AK as well. Yam showing that he can even go to work with the rifle and not just the sniper rifle. Cold has been spotted though, so now they know where he's coming from, and this should be an impossible situation now for Renegades to lose. A 1v2 clutch if Cold can pull this off. would be clear, you know, this would basically show why he's seen as the best player in the world, because this should not be possible. If Renegades play it well, they just have to sit and wait to, basically for Cold to walk up and try and tap that bomb. They don't need to peek. They don't need to show themselves. They don't need to give a chance for Cold here to find a kill. And Cold, he seems to know this as well. He's just waiting, hoping that they make a mistake, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, very, very smart play. Might not seem all that eventful, but just the fact that they're not giving him an opportunity, because you'll no doubt see that later on. As soon as you give just a single chance here, even a tight round like this could get out of control. He will save the AWP because it's a more valuable rifle, but a good round here for Renegades. And we should just bring out the map balance as well. Obviously, this is important. You are amongst equal teams here. Normally, you'd get more rounds on the terrorist side. It's just a slightly terrorist-heavy map. So the fact that the scoreline is roughly, well, is tied right now, is a really good time for Luminosity. They're going to be happy about these 4 rounds already.
They've done, I mean, picking up that pistol, T-side Cobble, that's the first step towards success on this map, because it gives you those 3 rounds. Now Renegades just need to start winning rifle rounds when Luminosity are geared up, and because of the rounds that Luminosity were able to chain together, they have enough bank to go right back to that double op. Cold, he did hold on to one of them, so not too big an investment here for Luminosity, but they have all the nades necessary, and you can already see, you know, just throwing down an incendiary to buy a little bit of time here to slow Renegades down. The Renegades continue to show an interest on this A site, and there's 2 players here set up for Luminosity, but a 3rd one is rotating over, and that's Cold, not wasting any time. There's going to be both AWPs on this A site pretty soon here.
Yeah, and for close as well, and because Fallen's already made so much noise with that sniper rifle, all their focus right now is going to be at the top of that ramp and probably not close. So for last time he was in this position, he just had the C-set 75 and he couldn't do enough damage. This time, he's got the full M4, so we'll see if that's going to make a difference here. And they are setting up Renegades, and they've got all the smokes as well. They could definitely make this work.
It's going to be Cold setting up to help his teammates. Smokes are going down, and there you go. Fur, running shot. Cold picks up one as well, and it's just complete and total. Oh, man, what a train wreck for Renegades. They just walked right into the blender. Luminosity, Fur this time gets 2 kills, and Fallen does as well, and it's just massive damage. They just can't even hold.
Ustilo, best he could do right now is some damage to the CT side economy, which is still very important right now. He's got about 35 seconds on the clock here, and I don't know what to do at this point in time. I mean, it's hard to say if he should try and fight or save the AK. Again, they don't have a lot of money, Renegades here. In fact, they're almost going to be entirely reset, so being on the T side, maybe he should try and go for it.
He's hoping to be able to catch out the 1 man, and if he could have won that duel, he had a chance to run through connector, get over to the B side, and get the bomb plant. That was his 1 chance at winning that round there. So a good decision from Ustilo, but Taco wins the duel straight up.
I have to point out the setup that we're seeing here on the CT side for Luminosity is not a common one. Normally, they did start off with a normal setup this time. They had 3 people on B, a 4th one that was in connector that was Cold Zero really close by, and then they had sort of just the 1 man over at A, but they really quickly rotate that. Once they realize the rush is not coming to B, no one is just charging in there, then they actually put 3 people on the A bombs, and that's not a common setup. And I don't think Renegades are maybe ready to adjust to it. They don't seem to realize that actually the Brazilian side are being very heavy on the A side of the map right now.
Oh, it's a timing thing that works out. Cold had rotated over earlier, then he went back to B, and then he came back to A just as the push came through. So I don't know if that's Cold getting a read on the situation, or if it's Fallen saying, hey, we need you over here right now, rotate. But everything seems to be working for Luminosity in those kinds of situations when Renegades are playing a slow kind of strat and trying to run down that clock. Every time they go for the execute, they just get slammed in the face. And once again, Cold is there to start things off. They go pushing out onto the B side, Renegades, but Cold is there to hold the line. Ustilo will find the shot on Taco, and he gets the follow-up on Cold as well.
And even steals the AWP. That's actually a big giveaway here in the back line. FNX real close with just a pistol in hand, and he's going to go down. Not a favorable trade here. Oh, Ustilo, did he see the gun barrel? Fallen trying to push in here. He's looking at Ustilo's position right now. The bomb has gone down, and it is a 2-on-2 Fallen. He knows that he's back there, and he can't get out. If Fur comes out of plateau here, I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, no! Ustilo, that's a team kill, and Fallen going to take care of the rest. I don't know what happened, but we're going to need to see that point of view from Ustilo there. This is the nerves kicking in. He was wired so tightly. One little movement there, and it's a teammate that falls instead. Some friendly fire. It's not acceptable, is it?
Oh, especially after this. Look at this. I mean, 2 kills with the P250 against fully equipped players. That's hard to do for Ustilo. For him to get the team kill on JKS, train wreck. That's what I'm saying, man. Right now, Renegades are getting into these situations and they can't seem to capitalize.
Well, for sure, we're going to get the panels talking, or to the panel talking a little bit about it. But I mean, mentally for a team as well, just having that happen, and what could have been a really big win. They only had pistol to start that round with, and they almost managed to bring it back. It'll definitely leave a mark on the team, and now they got to bring it back. They got to forget that happened and try and make this push work.
Once again, there's a setup. HG goes out trying to help. Fallen not going to be able to come through for Fur. However, he does get the peek onto Yam. Just takes his arm off, and he's still alive. So no follow-up coming in from JKS. Instead, it's as a drop down. He gets FNX out of position. Now they've actually successfully split things up here, Renegades. Fallen, however, he takes out one of the wings, and now it's all on Taco holding the line here in Connector, and he's just doing so much damage.
They still got to deal with Fallen. He's still alive with this AWP playing close range here. Gonna get the shot, and now it's a triple kill. He's looking for the last here, and it's Sponge. Could end up in a captain versus captain duel here. He does have the bomb, and that's super important right now. 50 seconds on the clock, and Sponge could play kind of a long game. He's going to walk in. Did he see the feet? I'm not sure. Fallen covering this angle. He gets a shot through, and Sponge barely living. He's going to go down to Cold Zero. Great communication, and a great round from Fallen once again.
Got to give it to Sponge, though, there. He was pre-firing the angle that Cold Zero came through as well, so he tried, he just didn't land the shot, but that was a great read on his part.
And we got to point this out as well. So the first fight, or actually, well, the second kill that Fallen gets is on JKS in the middle, and that takes out, as you were pointing out, like one angle of that attack, because otherwise, Fallen would have been sandwiched in between JKS coming from middle and the rest of that terrorist team dropping into drop and then running into the A-bomb site. So he got himself out of a really bad situation by getting that first kill.
Now Renegades trying to change it up once again, but it's Fur pushing aggressively out of apartments. He's going to go right into the flank. Now they know exactly what's happening here. Luminosity, that Renegades have gone for the all-out aggression. FNX in Connector picks up 2 kills, tries the spray transfer, not going to get it. Instead, it's JKS shutting him down with the Tech 9. Takes Cold Zero to move in and actually, end the party there. But 8-4 now as Luminosity continue to extend their lead on this CT side. They are just completely shutting Renegades out of these bomb sites. There isn't a whole lot that Renegades seem to be able to do here. They're not winning the clutches, and that's the main thing. If they get one of these clutches to go their way, Renegades then can take control. They can, well, have an impact on Luminosity's economy, because Luminosity just keep having money to buy all day long.
Yeah, this is definitely turning into a very ugly first half here for the Australian side, and they've really got to be careful right now. If they can bring back and win the next 3 rounds to end the first half at an 8-7 scoreline, then maybe we could have some interesting games going on, some interesting rounds in the second half. But if they continue like this, it's going to get real bad.
And now, well, again, change of pace from Renegades, but Taco is there, holding from the site itself behind Big Fox. He's looking for command to fall off plateau, and the timing works out for Renegades. They win that duel, but FNX is there to support, and he keeps challenging. Yam will be the one to find the kill, but a quick rotation coming out from Fallen, and he gets the backstab on Yam. So now a man advantage for the retake here. Luminosity moving on to the site.
Yeah, but where can Renegades go that Luminosity won't check right now? They have almost no positions left, so Azza, he almost has to take this risk. If he doesn't, then they're just trapped inside the bomb site. But if he wins that fight, there's at least a chance. Now it's all on JKS here. And we did talk about him as being a potential superstar on this Renegades team. He's going to have to prove it now, but he's looking the wrong way, walking out into the open with the AK, going for the spray, and Cold just using that rock there to dart around and ends up winning the fight. It's 9 rounds here for Luminosity.
It's duels like those that need to go Renegades' way. Azza, he's the linchpin up on plateau. Yeah. If he wins the duel versus Fur, and then JKS has support, and they can just lock down that site with a crossfire. Instead, he gets dropped, and then JKS is the one who he gets sandwiched. He's the one at risk. So it's those kinds of duels that Renegades, they just aren't able to win right now, and that's what's costing them this first half. 9-4 for Luminosity. Just a huge lead to have on the CT side of Cobble.
We're going to see if this can continue. Again, that double AWP setup has been so effective, and it's been kept alive as well. We always talk about it as being a potential risk, but they just keep it alive. And look at this, showing the M4, then re-peeking with the sniper and making it very tough for Renegades to know what's coming next. The follow-up flashbangs. This is LG just losing all respect right now for Renegades and going aggressive on the supposedly defensive side. Azza trying to make up for last round. He actually secured the B bomb side all on his own. This is amazing.
There we go. Seems like Renegades, they're starting to figure out, or at least Azza, they're starting to figure out that Luminosity are putting 3 players over on that A site early on. When they saw Cold, they're like, wait a second, it's usually Fallen over here. So that's a little bit of information that they were able to act off of. And Azza now with the quad kill, just shutting down Luminosity. We have to see if he can get the ace. I mean, Cold, it's actually at the point now where they have 2 players. Leave the 2 players on the side. Azza, do something for yourself sometimes, right? Just go out there, hunt, get that ace. catch out Cold, and they're about to run into each other as well. So Azza, will he get the shot? Yes, he does. Ace for Azza, and that might be what changes everything here for Renegades. An individual play like that can get the team spirits going, and it can actually get them into this first half.
I'm slightly shocked that Luminosity didn't check the middle, because he gets this kill, so they know that he's there, right? And yet they don't check the corner as they come through. But this is a great sequence coming out of Azza, and you know, it really does have an impact on the team when one person delivers like this. I fear it's too late. If it's too late in the half for this to happen, this is obviously the 15th round coming up, so the last round of the half here before they switch sides. But this is already a big problem right now for Renegades. They're going to need Azza or JKS or someone else to step up like that for a lot of rounds now.
Basically, yeah. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a pause as well between the halves. Time enough for Luminosity to catch their breath. Renegades, they just have to maintain the pace here. And well, they were going aggressive in the last couple of rounds. Now they've chosen to go back to the default setup. And that hasn't really worked for them so much throughout this first half. When Luminosity are given the time, they just do better with it. Whereas Renegades, they seem to start making mistakes. They start to seem to lose focus a little bit. So right now it is Renegades. 5 rounds on the board. Luminosity, 9 rounds. 15th round, the last round of this first half. And can Renegades actually get that 6th round? That's what it's all about. They need everything they can get going into the second half. But now Azza, the man who had the ace in the last round, once again playing that key position here in drop down. This is where you can cut that CT side in half, but Luminosity aren't messing around. 4 players set up on that B side. They're ready and waiting for Renegades.
Yeah, but they kind of do need that as well, because their equipment is just not that impressive right now. The Mag 7 shotgun is definitely good at close range, but the problem is if you're trying to retake later on, it might not work out that well. Great pop flash coming through here. I really like that one, but FNX close range here, gonna go for it. Sponge to take him out instead, tries for the follow-up, he's still gonna take down one, and Azza coming in with the kill on Cold Zero. Taco gonna go down to Yam, and Fallen, the last man left here, and again with just an MP9, not even Fallen is that good.
No, it's a bit much to ask. Azza with the backstab shot there. 2 kills for him at the end of the round. And, well, it took them a while, but that was a showcase on how difficult it can be to hold that B site. Because once you give up a couple of those players, either if it's on the site itself or towards drop, the whole defense just starts falling apart, because Cold, then you saw, he has to worry about 2 angles. He gets shot in the side, and then it just, you know, you keep getting picked off. You're having to worry about all of these angles if you're on that CT side. Yeah, so Renegades finally, you know, they get that opening kill, and that's what makes the difference.
Yeah, as predicted, a very, very tough first half here for Renegades. And when we come back, it's going to be the second half. Second half here between Luminosity and the Renegades, and I mean there was no one sort of trying to slip anything under the rug here. It was clear from the beginning Luminosity were going to be a really tough team, and I think Renegades, they're just having a hard time right now.
That's where Sponge suffered, essentially, with Renegades. It's just the fact that, yeah, we got the pistol, we got 3 rounds, and then Luminosity are like, hey, but we got rifles now, and we will win all the duels, we will crush you. And so we're going into the second half after Renegades have basically taken a beating here in the first half. Luminosity, they're way ahead, they've got the 9 rounds, they finished strong in the half, and now they go into T side, where they'll be on the offense, and Luminosity are so good on terraced Cobblestone. They get out on that plateau. Taco, he works that space. He always seems to find picks. And then it's just everybody else coming through and trading effectively. That's Luminosity are just so good at trading kills when they go onto sites, so they always just eventually get there to get that bomb plant.
Well, unlike Renegades, the Brazilian side here being very aggressive in their pistol round. Look at this. They haven't actually stopped running from the terrorist spawn. They're all the way in the A-bomb site. Renegades, they put everything on B right now. This is a disaster right now for the Australian side. They needed a strong start here. They're even going to boost up to a different position here. Cold Zero now up on the balcony, and JKS, he's got no chance of seeing that coming. What an incredible play here. Luminosity just absolutely catching Renegades off guard.
Well, what do you do now if you're Renegades? You cross your fingers and you hope that you're going to hit some sick headshots. Fur, well, he delivers one, and Cold took out another on the other side towards the A site. Yam will finally have an impact here. He picks up 1 kill on Fur, but there isn't really a whole lot that he can do. Even with the Kevlar, he will get overwhelmed. 2 kills for Taco, 1 for Fur, and 1 for Cold.
You know, so at this point in time, I think once you realize, you just got to type in the chat. You just got to type, we're not live, are we? Just pretend like you don't know.
That was warm-up.
Yeah, that was just warm-up, wasn't it? Because there's almost no coming back from that. Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of would have liked to have seen a replay of that round where Renegades have advanced warning that something is happening, you know, where they've got one guy spawning it, just to see what that round would have been like. That's a huge gamble to take, and actually, maybe when you're this far behind, you kind of maybe do need to take that kind of gamble. Just if they'd gone B, probably would have been around for them, wouldn't it?
Exactly, and that's the gamble, right? When we say a stack, we mean that they're just putting all of their players, all their eggs in one basket on one site, on that CT side, hoping that the terrorists are just going to blindly run into it. And unfortunately, Renegades, well, it just didn't work out for them this time.
Isn't there a children's story that's meant to warn, people against that? I'm pretty sure there's like some sort of tale.
It's like,
Don't
this
do
isn't
that.
a fairy tale, Anders. This is reality. We are actually here in this studio.
People are getting shot in the face. It's definitely not a fairy tale at this point in time. But, they have gone for another stack, but I mean, again, it is the most common way to play this map, to have the majority of your team in the B bomb site when you're on the CT side, so we can't really fault them for that. I think, again, Luminosity, you could see, and we were pointing this out when Renegades were on the terrorist side, they're playing very defensively here, Luminosity, and there's no reason for them not to do that. Just take it slow.
Well, taking it slow. I mean, Luminosity, they've ticked down a minute off of this clock, and it's time to go. Bomb makes its way through. As at their point blank with the CZ-75 will pick up 1 kill, and it's just trades all over the place. Renegades, in fact, they've dropped the bomb out in the open. It's on Fallen now to come through with this Galil, and he's lost his teammate, so it's all on Fallen now. 1v2. He knows that there's a player on the site, and he knows that somebody's backstabbing as well. If he can make his way through the doors into Connector, he can get onto the A site, and he's even going for the bait, hoping to catch somebody out in the open, but the game is up. He tried to pull a fast one there on Renegades, hoping that somebody would try and run after him into Connector, but Renegades, they played it very well. They did not fall into the trap.
All right then, so that's a really big turnaround. This is one of those rounds that have a big impact on the outcome of this game. Luminosity, I'm not sure I agree with this. See, they're feeling so confident themselves right now. They're saying, we'll just go for Tech 9 and Armor and buy up. They're using almost all their money on this. This is not just evening out the current economy. They're actually spending almost all their bank on this one. Wanting to break Renegades early is probably a good idea, but this could definitely backfire hard on them.
Oh, that HE follow-up did so much damage to FNX and Fur. They aren't going to spot anybody. They're just getting annihilated here. Cold Zero will be able to bring it back. He takes out Astillo. That was on Plateau. But that one combo of nades, that is why it's so difficult sometimes to rush when you're going through these choke points. A single incendiary nade, an HE follow-up, and 2 guys were already in bits by the time they actually got into drop-down room where Renegades were waiting for him. So just a brutal start for Luminosity when they did take a risk here. They did try and go for the all-out play where we're just going to spend all of our money and come right back at you, which is something that Fallen is talking about, right? He is looking at different ways to become less predictable, and that is one of those ways, going for a random force that might catch Renegades off guard.
Yeah, and obviously the payoff is, and actually they can still do a lot in this round. I mean, they still need a couple of kills to make it work, but there's one of them, Fallen, going to be taking out Yam, and a good reply from Azza. As long as they don't lose anyone else here, I think Renegade's still going to be quite happy about this round, but we should point this out. When you're playing on the CT side, one of the worst things that can happen is if you start to have a bad economy. We saw how Luminosity had that double up setup alive for almost every round. It was only at the end that it sort of broke down and they had to get the max 7s. But, if you're a CT team and you can't afford smokes and Molotovs and just good rifles, things start to get really tough. So I think LG were just pushing that angle as well. Let's try and make sure that they don't have any money. Not working out, though.
Not working out. Cold is still in this, and he will spot out Sponge. Sponge on the plateau, but Sponge, he doesn't even need to peek anymore. Exactly. He calls out for his teammates. There's the team flash coming through, and it will help him out a little bit. Well, Cold not really going to be able to find that kill in the end. Sponge survives with 44 HP. So they are bringing it back here, slowly but surely. 10 rounds for Luminosity, 8 for Renegades. And while Renegades, now they're going to get a chance to farm up. Now's the time to go for the SMGs and try and make a little bit of extra money, because Luminosity, they have to go for a hard eco here.
Yeah, but they're not even doing that. I actually agree. They could have definitely had one guy with an MP9 or something just charging around. But I think this also says something about Renegade's sort of state of mind right now. They don't want to give anything up. Gotta say, I am impressed. Azza's got 17 kills. He's actually tied with Cold Zero right now for the top frags in the game. So that's quite impressive. Not many people can keep up with Cold. Yam gonna start off great this round, taking out one, and not going to be the single deagle headshot there. So great start for Renegades, and very aggressive one too.
Oh, what a shot from Fur, though. Rips Sponge's head off, and now it's still aggressive. He's going to be able to pick up one bomb. Nice flash coming through, and actually that's going to cost him. FNX will eventually find that kill with the Glock. So it's now 3 players alive here for Renegades, and JKS lurking on the slope. He's going to spot out Fur. Easy kill for him. And now it's all on FNX, hoping to... Well, he's in the same situation as Cold in the last round, except that now he actually has a rifle to work with. But still, Azza's in the perfect spot to shut him out. Instead, it's the longest spray of his life, but FNX still finds a kill.
And that makes a really big difference here. The difference between getting 2 or 3 kills in a round like this is massive. Now Renegades have to spend a lot of money that they would have rather saved for later rounds. So it's going to get tricky here. FNX still should not be winning the round. And indeed, he's going to be going down to Yam, but this makes them rebuy 3 rifles, 3 Kevlars, a lot of grenades, and it's money they don't really have. So They're still right at the limit, and Luminosity are fine with this because they're going to be buying into this round.
This could come back to haunt them, actually, yeah. Just the fact that, I mean, all of their bank nearly has gone into this round now, Renegades, because of how expensive that last one was. And Luminosity obviously going to be spending everything up. Fallen doesn't even have an AWP. He goes Galil just to have a couple more nades to work with. Cold on the AK. Wow, still terrifying, so no worries there. But Luminosity, I mean, they're at risk now of Renegades catching up and tying up the score at 10-10. So let's see. It is Luminosity again. Taco going straight out onto Plateau, getting control, and he spots the boost early. So Renegades losing the element of surprise there with that trap.
Wow, that's a hard-hitting grenade, though, taking him out. Taco gonna burn alive from the follow-up Molotov, and some really good information for Taco early on, but when he goes down, it's not quite worth it. So Renegades off to a good start. If they win this round, Selma, this could be an interesting game all of a sudden. I'm starting to be persuaded by Renegades here.
It's all about mental fortitude at this point. They know they're the underdogs. They know that Luminosity are heavily favored to win this. It's all about delivering once they get close to that finish line. When they get up to the 14th, 15th round.
Hasn't that always been the problem though for these Australian guys?
Yeah.
That they've really cracked on the pressure. I mean, not even a lot of pressure, just any kind of pressure.
Just like, you know, we're not talking about like the Finnish hydraulic press or anything here.
No,
we're talking about, you know, a heavy school book, textbook.
That's it. Can't deal with it. No, it's true. I mean, they've definitely been proven to not quite be up to it.
I mean, those textbooks are pretty nasty, though. Just saying.
I don't know. Did you even go to school, Semler?
No.
I wonder sometimes.
I lived on the PC.
We've got the 5 versus 4 setup right now. 25 seconds, so LG cutting it very close right now. Almost no time to get the bomb down. They're going to have to get into the site and finally make it work. But Asa just a rock here, getting a double, looking for more. Fur trying to get that peek happen, just shooting at the edge. Ustilo, he's just not taking enough damage for this to be worth it. There's a good trade going in, but for 8 seconds, he just cannot win the round. It's simply not possible.
He's on 3 HP. And I don't think that Renegades should try and hunt him down. They should realize that he's in drop. So we'll see if JKS wants to get aggressive, see if they can't find the kill after the time runs out. But it's not going to happen because Renegades, I mean, that was smart. That was wise of the 2 Renegades players. They know that their bank isn't that big, so they didn't want to risk losing 2 guns just to hunt down the 1 AK that Luminosity are going to get to hold on to for the next round. So Renegades, man, they're playing very smart CS now, having swapped over to that CT side. The score is 10-10 now, tied up. And in this sort of situation, I mean, Luminosity should still be ahead considering they're on the T side, but Renegades are showing us something magical here. Asa, he's giving us the performance that's necessary to actually win against one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team.
Yeah, this is very impressive. And once again, Luminosity, they've gone not for a full buyout, but they did save the AK. They've brought some armor and some pistols. They just want to do the damage because they did kill 3 members of Renegade in the previous rounds, and they know that if they can keep the pressure on, if they can get every round like this, eventually Renegades will run out of money. So that's all they're looking for right here. Fur with the early shot there, but Cold Sierra ends up coming back for it. Good shot from Azure and JKS, and now they can run into the A bombs. The only one there to stop them is JKS, and he's doing a fine job right now. Cold going to be going down, and again, 3 members of Renegades ends up going down. So this keeps being worth it for Luminosity. There's no reason for them not to keep the pressure on as long as they get 3 or more kills.
That's going to mean that Renegades are always forcing up, that they're never going to have that big bank to fall back on. They can't go for that straight strategy, or that risky, expensive strategy that Luminosity favor, which is the double sniper rifle, because that AWP costs you $4,750 every time you buy it. When you're getting, you know, $3,400 for a round win, you know, you can understand where you need to really just prioritize that money, save as much as you can so you can afford the sniper rifle. Yam doesn't even have one right now. So Renegades, they are in the lead now, 11-10, and well, it looks like Luminosity, they were trying to change up the pace once again, and Ustilo gets dropped down to 1 HP. Dodges that HE, lucky for him, and Yam will get boosted, but are Luminosity going to try and press forward onto the plateau? It's all about them trying to get access to this bomb site, trying to find an entry kill with Taco.
Well, a lot of Molotovs being expended here, and really none of them doing anything to Yam, who's still up on this plateau. Flashbangs come through. That they feel like they've checked this already. You're still going to be going down, but Yam is up there. It takes 1 and 2, looking for a third, but he can't get it through. Now it's a 2-on-3, and this time it will be a bomb plant. And Fur waiting on the other side, and we were pointing this out in the first half. Running through smoke is just such a risk. FNX to pick up the last kill, and Luminosity finally, after 5 rounds in a row here for Renegades, which is about as good. That's the longest streak that Luminosity had on their CT side.
Right.
So finally they put an end to it. And now And this is the big win for Luminosity. Renegades just don't have the money to buy.
That's when you know that a team is on the T side is really working perfectly, right? Taco, no hesitation, no fear at all, just throws himself through the smoke onto the site, looking for that opening kill that he does find on his Stillo. And then, well, yeah, you do have a wrench and a wrench gets thrown in things when Yam picks up 2 kills, but instantly Luminosity, they react to that, pick him off, and then just continue to pressure onto that site. They move together as a unit, so that there's never somebody, it never gets out of control on the CT side. Instead, they're obviously trading 1 for 1. This time it's Fur leading the way, not Taco, but it's a hard eco coming out here from Renegades. They haven't invested anything in this round, so Luminosity, they should be geared up to take the lead once again.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of call Stilo would have been making at that point in time, just on the radio there. Guys, around us lost, they're all here, and you're all in B. I mean, there's nothing they could do again. It's just a matter of taking a risk. And it's sort of a coin flip. You can't obviously know if they're going to go A or B, but if you spread yourselves too thinly and around where you only have pistols, it's sort of insane to imagine that you'd be picking up too many rounds anyway. So just trying the best that they can here, Renegades. And I mean, this is still too early to call right now. But LG do seem to be getting a little bit of traction in the later stages of the second half here. Well,
once again, it comes back to mental fortitude at this point. Renegades, they had everything going their way. They got those 5 rounds in a row. A lot of that off of the back of Asa, who's just been delivering. Now, once things get rough and Luminosity show that they still have some fight in them, are Renegades going to be able to bounce back? And it's a horrible situation here for Renegades as well. They just don't have any money, so it's ultimate pressure now because they have to go for another round of eco. And that means that Luminosity are going to get real close to that finish line up at 13 rounds if everything goes according to plan here in this round.
Renegades, they still just don't have the money. I mean, this is rough, isn't it? This is what we call a double eco. So they just 2 rounds in a row here where all they can have is pistols. And we saw how tough it was. It's not going to get that much easier, even with the Mag 7 there on Yam. I mean, it's still a good investment, but it will get rough. The counter boost coming up, though. Let's see if they're going to catch it. They are ready for it, as maybe a little bit too aggressive there.
That's that default setup coming in for Luminosity, covering all of the angles just in case Renegades choose to go aggressive. And so Luminosity, not skipping any corners. Yam, although he is trying to go for the jump shot, he's hoping, but that Molotov is going to come sailing in and he has to change up his position. And while Luminosity, in the meantime, the push gets thwarted. Sponge trying to go for info, trying to go for a lurk. Not going to happen. The rotation now comes in for the CT side towards that A site because Sponge is dead, and that opens it up here for Luminosity to start pushing onto the B side.
Well, Yam and JKS, again, it's one of those situations where if they could just get a couple of kills, at least make this expensive for the Brazilian side, but they're going to come out of this round with every single member alive. Fur with the triple kill, and that really matters. It means even if Renegades start to win rounds now, they're going to have to win consecutive rounds to force the economy back for the terrorist side here. 13-11, and Luminosity only need another 3 rounds here on this terrorist side, and they're going to walk away with the first map.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see. This could have been a time to go for a tactical timeout as well from Renegades. Each team is allowed 1 timeout per map. And Renegades right now, when everything is on the line, you're going for the big buy here. Could have been a good time to try and slow down things a little bit, let your team, breathe without any pressure, without, the 20-second buy time, instead actually having a couple minutes to just sit and think about what they need to do here in this round, because this is where it's all riding on it.
That's interesting. Fallen boosting over the box there to try and see if he can catch anyone. Now, this is not a round where Renegades are trying to be up on the plateau there, but could have been worth it. Sponge will be going down early on, which is not the best situation. But if you had to lose someone right now, rather Sponge than Azur or JKS, I think.
I agree, and they haven't used that tree boost yet either, so Stillo, that's the first time that he's going to be up there. We'll see if it actually works. This might catch Luminosity off guard. But now that Fur's in connector and he's actually going to be able to wrap. Oh, this could all fall apart here. Fantastic shot from Yam, though. Picks off Fallen on the plateau, but Fur, he's going to spot out Ustillo, who's been boosted up. Ustillo has no idea where he's getting shot from.
Oh, the communication is so late. Azur, he's going to win the fight, but you can tell the confusion there on the CT side. No scope coming in from Yam. He's going to take down one. He misses the shot on Taco, but JKS is there. No scope, not going to be the second time, and FNX is all alone here. Now in a 1-on-2. Grenade here might just take care of Azur. Yes, it will. It bounces off. The shrapnel going to tear him apart, and now it's a 1-on-1. 30 seconds here. No bomb plant happening. FNX is up on the plateau, and JKS is over in that drop zone, just trying to see if he can maybe find the right moment. And FNX, all the pressure is on him here. He's going to have to get the bomb plant down, and JKS, as soon as he hears, because you can hear that little beep when it happens, he's going to try and make the push work. Now 15 seconds on the clock, and he's just walking around the boost box here. Look how patient JKS is right now. Finally going to go for the peak, but now FNX, he has to hold it.
And he is going to hold it. No fakes here. Incendiary goes out. It's too far, and FNX, he realizes that the man is right there standing in front of him, but FNX does not clutch it. It's JKS instead winning a key duel for Renegades. That's what I was saying in the beginning of this map, that they aren't winning any of the duels, Renegades. Finally, something goes Renegades' way. JKS delivers against the man who's supposed to win all of the clutches for Luminosity. FNX is definitely the guy you want to be, alive and fighting for you if you're Luminosity, because he always seems to come through.
Wow, any one little detail could have turned this round. Gotta give some credit to Yam as well. Those 2 kills happening over by the plateau were obviously important. Dan, yeah, tactical timeout actually being called here. Very interesting, and it's Renegades doing it on the back of winning a round.
Well, it's going to be tough for Renegades, just because of how close that was. I mean, a 1v1 clutch, guess what? You double ecoed before this just to have enough money to go for a full buy in that round. Now everybody died except for one. JKS, luckily, he should have been able to save the AWP there for Yam at the end, but it means that everybody's going to be forcing up again for Renegades. So they're going to be light on the nades. They're just going to try and figure out how they can juggle around their guns enough to get the people to gear.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, a lot of the time, you really, when you win a round, you don't want to have a tactical time. You just want to continue, because now you're finally winning, and you might build something off of that momentum. This tactical timeout obviously works for Luminosity as well. They get a chance to think about what rounds have worked and which haven't, and then try and see if they could take a step further here. I'm not heavily against it. I'm just saying it's a risk.
I'm just thinking that Fallen right now needs to be telling his teammates, on these rounds at the beginning of the half when they were starting to get a little bit of a streak going, right, Luminosity, when they were successful, they moved in as a unit. That last round looked a little disjointed to me, honestly. I mean, yeah, there was that sick lurk out there from Fur getting through connector and managing to get that drop on Astillo, right? But then he loses the second duel. But where's the rest of Luminosity? Going off that play from Fur, he initiates onto Astillo. Why aren't they all pushing out there? That allowed for Yam to have that element of surprise out on Plateau. And that's the second time now that Yam has caught them out on Plateau. So Luminosity, I think, are going to be trying to process all this like, right, okay, so they've shown that they are willing to boost up on Tree. Yam obviously likes to get up on Plateau because he keeps catching us there. So how can we make sure that our incendiaries, if we use Molotovs to clear our Plateau, how do we get that right so that he can't, actually have that to use against us?
Well, all of that and probably much more is being gone over right now during this tactical timeout. Renegades, they really cannot afford to lose a round here. No. They don't have the money. If they lose this round, then Luminosity will bounce from 13 to 15, basically, because it'll be a clear round where Renegades just have pistols, and we've already seen 2 of those back to back, and none of them worked out for the Australian side. So everything here is kind of stacked against the CT side. They're going to have a hard time of it.
All right, well, the countdown has begun to get back into this. So they are allowed a 2-minute timeout. That has been used, and now we'll see, can they deliver? As FNX in this clutch, and he had the angle on JKS as well. What a fantastic clutch for JKS. You can see the frustration there evident on FNX. He knows he had that. That was a duel that he should have won. Especially
because FNX is such a good clutcher. He's so good in the 1v1 when it really matters. Luminosity here, trying to see if they can maybe make it a fast round, even with the AWP. They're getting really close to the plateau right now, and we've got 4 members of Renegades on the other side. Yam, he got the fight here last time. He's going to try and see if he can do it again. If he misses a shot here, he's probably going to be going down. Look how close he is with the sniper rifle. This is madness. Jumping up, going for the... Oh, no! He hit that shot on Taco, and now it's a 3-on-4. I can't believe it. Renegades actually coming out on top in what seemed like a suicide mission from Yam. Fallen and Cold Syrah left now. It's a 2-on-4 here, and there is no bomb plant just yet.
And it's all on Fallen now. He has to deliver, and he gets caught out trying to make use of his nades to create an opportunity here, but that Molotov just might force him out into the open. Cold is waiting to see if a flank is going to come through, but no, everybody from Renegades waiting on the site itself. But there's the smoke to actually give them some room to work with here for Luminosity. And it's all about Cold making his way onto that bomb site now. Fallen doing the best that he can to hold the angles, but Cold, he has the bomb. He has to make the play eventually and get out here.
Fallen, one single bullet away from death here. He can't stay alive for very long. Stilo going to take the kill. Sponge to follow it up. And Renegades, they're going to be back in this game. It's now a tied scoreline, 13-13, and now Luminosity have some tough choices to make. They had a bit of a bank on 3 of their members, so they can still make this buy work, but if they start losing rounds or continue to lose rounds here, they're going to be out of the bank as well.
What a sick no-scope from Yam. That's a split-second play there happening right before he gets taken out, and that made all the difference as well. The fact that he drops one, trades 1 for 1, it doesn't mean that Luminosity can get that numbers advantage to really try and put the pressure on Renegades. So fantastic work from the Opera, but now it's all on Luminosity. They do have the money to go for a buy. They have the AKs, near full nades, but they just keep going towards this B site. And Renegades right now, they're just playing towards that. They keep stacking 4 over here because Luminosity, they haven't shown them anything anywhere else on the map pretty much. It's all action B, and so Renegades early on, they're setting up, ready and waiting in case Luminosity try to change the pace and go fast. Renegades are ready for them.
Yeah, good double setup here in the drop zone. Sponge and Azza both just ready to back each other up. JKS was down in the middle on the other side of the map just trying to get some information, but he hasn't really seen anyone yet. And how long are Luminosity going to wait? Because we already had one round, it was down to about 25 seconds, and it's so risky to do that. You do really want to push before 30 seconds.
I'm a bit surprised to see Luminosity just so, single-minded, focusing just on this one site. Yeah, that incendiary is going to hurt. Yam, though, cannot miss a shot like that. You have to get that free pick.
Yeah, now let's see if Taco is going to use what he's just given to actually punish them in this round, because he should have been dead. Definitely should have been dead in that exchange. Cold Zero will go down. Yam trying to make up for it, getting a good frag in there, and with a lot of damage onto Azza, he still wins that fight against Fur.
How does Azza find that duel versus Fur exactly? Fur, that's the second time now that he's fallen to Azza. So that's not acceptable here for Luminosity. They're down 2 players. They've only got 20 seconds left. And the nades, they only have a single flash on Taco to make their lives easier. So it's all down to the headshots. Fallen, trying to misdirect Renegade's attention over towards Drop, and over towards Link. And now it's actually FNX finding the opening kill onto Yam. But again, 7 seconds left. The bomb, it needs to make its way onto the site. Fallen gets caught. It's all on Taco, and he's run out of time. It's all about the kills now, and it's just not going to happen. Sponge survives, and Azza, insult to injury, gets the kill on Taco.
Yeah, and this allows us to introduce sort of a small technical detail, which is that if you die on the terrorist side after the clock has ran out, you're not going to get the loss bonus. So he loses the rifle, he loses the Kevlar, and he won't get any money to rebuy that stuff with. So this is a very bad position here. And I think what we have now is, in fact, a tactical timeout for Luminosity, who want to see exactly what's coming up, or at least it should be. But the money for the Brazilian side is just not there. Renegades, similar. How is this happening? How are they getting back into this?
So I'm wondering what the discussion is here between Taco and Fallen.
I think
Fallen's
Taco was
calling
doing
out
the hand side that said chop him up, just cut him in half.
Sit the cleaver.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the ones who are supposed to be, controlling the control, having the controls to the blender right now.
That's definitely a cleaver. Yeah, look at that.
Well, what he's saying is you guys just need to go. You need to go. You need to be quick, explosive. That's what makes a T side effective, is when the signal is given, get out onto that site, and there's no fear of dying. That's what Taco does. He just runs right through, throws himself in there, and he doesn't care if he dies because he knows he has Fur, he has Cold behind him, right? He has these guys who are supposed to follow up and trade frag, get the kills to open up the bomb site. We just aren't really seeing that right now from Luminosity. They've been struggling, and a lot of that has to do with Azza and Yam, both of them having a huge impact so far in this CT side.
We should point out as well, there's a definite correlation at the sort of top end of Counter-Strike between teams that are sort of at the top and very good at taking these timeouts, right?
Right.
Fnatic, Luminosity, almost all of them are very good at taking a tactical timeout just when it matters, and they start winning rounds behind it. So just that little bit of breathing room, a little bit of space to calm down, and they manage to make it work. And you always see the communication there is they're just all talking and getting in on what might actually bring this back.
What I'm wondering about is because Luminosity, they have the tactical experience to go towards that A site. When are they going to start doing it? We're seeing a lot of B from them. It's very straightforward. And Renegades, because they've seen nothing but B from Luminosity, they're able to cheat. They can say, well, actually, we'll just put 4 players over here every single time. We're not going to play default and have 2 over on A. We're going to actually have all of our defense stacked up, ready and waiting for you, and you guys just keep running into it. So where is Luminosity?
Yeah, and think about how easy it would be for them to take just a couple of people and challenge. I think mainly they have JKS on the A side of the map, so just take a couple of people, challenge JKS. If you win that fight straight up, it's great. Even if you trade evenly, he gets killed and you kill him, that's all you need. Then you're in a great position. So I do kind of agree, maybe it's time for Luminosity to look at the other side of the map here. They've almost tunnel visioned on this B-bomb side. And
they're doing it again. And maybe it's going to be in the next round when they change up. But right now, Renegades, again, 4 players here ready and waiting to shut out Luminosity. There's the smoke going down, and Fur just goes leaping in behind Taco. That's what we're talking about here for Luminosity. All-out aggression, get out onto the site. But they are actually managing to get this to work for them, Luminosity. It's a half buy, not even a full, and yet they have a 2-man advantage now.
Oh no, Renegades. This is not what they were needing. Sponge with a really good kill there, and this is so important. They need to get back into this round. They cannot afford to let it slip into the hands of Luminosity here. The bomb is planted and ticking away, but they're sandwiched in here. This retake is nearly impossible, and Fallen making sure it's not going to happen here. JKS now all alone, but he has to try and walk in and take it. It's not going to work out. FNX will drop him out of the round. 14-14, and Luminosity stilling around there. You got to say they probably shouldn't have won.
Yeah, that's brutal. Here I am sitting here praising like Renegades, the setup, it's so good. They're all hitting their shots. But when Luminosity, and that's the big difference maker, is that Yam, there was nobody holding close to plateau. So Fur and Taco, they just got right out onto the site and just took the fight straight to Renegades, where if you're rapping on the man who's holding on the site, you saw what happened. He gets shot on the side because he doesn't know which way he needs to look. Renegades changing up things that have actually been working for them so far. And now that puts Renegades on an eco.
This is heartbreaking, isn't it? Because they were actually making it work, but they just don't have the money to potentially close out this game. Now instead, they might end up going down. They have a great stack going on here. 3 members of Renegades, but Fur taking out every single one. And now, all on Yam, 1 versus 3 with no armor and just a pistol. It's obviously not going to happen, is it?
Yam gives away his position as well, so they know he's holding close. There's the incendiary to stop him from rotating into the little room, and instead, that bomb will get planted now for Luminosity. So Renegades, I mean, they took this round of eco because they're playing for overtime at this point. They didn't try and risk it and go for the win here short term, where they hope and cross their fingers that they can win here in the 29th round and then win 16-14, just win out. Instead, Renegades, they're sitting on pistols so they can buy in the next round and give themselves a good chance of getting into overtime.
I almost wonder, though, if they'd gone for that stack with pistols and armor in the middle, would it have made a difference? I mean, we could always speculate, but it's got to be in the back of their minds as well.
It's tough to say. But both of these teams are out of timeouts, so that's it. They can't just sit and talk. They have to get the job done now. And we have it from Fur's perspective, and this is just a full-on NA spray. Fur, come on. That Glock comes out at the end, and he picks up the, he picks up his second kill. But
yeah,
what was that spray at the start? Full-on panic spray.
It wasn't exactly pretty, but it did get the job done. Now, this is what they've saved for Renegades, and it's still not very impressive. Again, you got to look at the grenade count here. Not exactly optimal. 2 for Masters, 1 UMP in play. They might end up losing this in the 30th round, the maximum rounds here that you could play in if you don't go into overtime, that is. But I don't know, this would be heartbreaking. Almost classic Renegades.
Yeah, exactly right. And look at this, Taco, he's gonna walk right. Yeah, holds the line. Sick job with the spray transfer. Lives with 5 HP. I was writing him off. I'm like, yeah. He's holding down mouse 1. This is a common mistake that you see CT side make, where they're just spraying into smoke hoping to get lucky, and the terrorists are waiting on the other side. He's like, great, I know that you're out of bullets now. I'll just run in on you. Yam somehow finds that kill and survives, though. That was huge.
And finally, Semler, we get to see an actual A push. This could be what LG have been looking for quite a while. Here's the opening shot for Fur, taking down Sponge, looking for a bit more. He sees the gun barrel there, FNX, and does a lot of damage. There's a Molotov, there's a grenade kill as well. Renegades, they're still in this, but it's Cold Sierra. No bomb plant here, and in a 1-on-2.
There's a spot. And now they have the information to go off of here, Renegades. They know that he's on the bomb site itself. It's Astillo and JKS, 2 heavy hitters here for Renegades. Can definitely count on him. JKS has already won 1 clutch for Renegades. So we have to see if he can pull it off here. Cold, though, so good, so quick. But Renegades, they're playing this perfectly. They are not showing themselves. They're playing it very safe, waiting for Cold to commit, waiting for him to step out into the open. And Cold, he predicts the play, but he's not going to get it. Renegades will clutch, and once again it is JKS landing the key shot. But it's 15-15, and we're going to overtime. Fitting, isn't it? First map of this tournament.
Well, of course it had to be, right? We're not going to be too sad about that one. I can't believe that. You see how he was, that's such a cool little detail, but you see how he's pre-aiming the angle. He takes the shot at truck first, and he knows the second player is going to come out of the double doors there. So just a very, very good job there on Cole, but it didn't quite work out. And Renegades, we were sort of questioning this. They did eco in the 29th round to come back and get overtime in the 30th round. Something that most teams actually won't do. Most teams will say, no, we're just going to fight for the win. And
it has everything to do with Mr. Savage right there. 3 kills in the key round, and one of them a clutch kill. That was all the big plays coming in from him. He ends at 24-3, 19 kills in regulation time. So now we have to see if if JKS is going to wake up here for this overtime.
Now, I would love for the panel to sort of talk a little bit about this as well, because actually a lot of the games that Renegades have played in the past, where they get pressured a lot when they're under a lot of pressure, something noticeable happens. That is Sponge just falls off the map. He puts all of his resources into calling and getting sort of the tactical angle in. This game he's been doing quite well, so he seems to be able to manage both, and I think that's important.
I think this has been such a long time coming. Renegades were one of the first teams to really commit to ELEAGUE. They've been focusing everything, living in North America, and that's actually something that needs to be brought up, is that this team didn't wait around in North America for the other teams to come and try and prac with NA teams. No, what they did is, before this tournament, it's so important, they flew to Europe to get the best practice possible, to train against the best teams in the world, apart from Luminosity, obviously, but to train against the best teams in the world in preparation for this tournament. So Renegades, man, they've put a lot of work into this, and it's paying off. They've taken Luminosity to the limit.
Yeah, now all these rounds come back. That one round, I think you steal it with the team kill in that 2v2. Like you start replaying those rounds in your head and thinking, man, if only we could have got those, we would have had a 16-14 type finish. I mean, this is so close right now.
I know that's where it's real painful, but the countdown has begun. And just to be clear, it's MR3, 10,000 starting money here in this overtime. And so Renegades, they're on that CT side. It is so important that they keep this streak up so that they maintain their money going forward.
Yeah, on the CT side, 10,000, it sounds like a lot. So we could have a great night out if we had 10,000. But in Counter-Strike, it definitely is a bit of a limit. And they've already invested in the AWP, so Yam, he's not going to have that much left. They need to win rounds right now. Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure now on Renegades to keep up with the streak.
Overtime in effect. FNX dropping very low here, trying to take a fight in the middle and coming out very badly on that side, but Sponge taking a bit of damage on the other side of the map, so kind of an even trade for either team. And Yam, does he see the feet? Taco is right there, and you see without the X-ray on, which is a really good feature to just remind people that they can't see where all the players are like we can. Fallen gonna be getting the opening frag, and look at Cold Zero securing that A-bomb site. This is going to be rough.
Sponge, he's the man, exactly. Fur has no idea that there's a man waiting in danger. And so Sponge with the free kill to start things off, and now Luminosity, they have to be worried about the flank coming through, although they have Taco on a slow lurk looking for Sponge. Sponge gives away his position, though, shows that he's there, and he hits another shot. Sponge coming through big right now for Renegades, but it's back to a 2-on-2, and that bomb is planted. It's still ticking. Renegades are the ones feeling the pressure right now. They need to get on it and start defusing, and Estillo, he's just fully committing, and Fallen misses the shot. This is the chance, and Renegades will win 16-15, and talk about winning the key round.
I can't believe it. Sponge, he's the first man to take heavy damage on the Renegades team in that round. Down to 23, he picks it up with a triple kill and wins the first round of overtime. Captain Australia.
Yeah. I mean, he's been the spokesperson for so long, right? And he even got a haircut. I thought that he might have lost a little bit of it, his power, right? The Sponge, his hair, it's like Japanese tentacle porn. It's just all over the place, right?
He is a beautiful human being.
It's amazing.
It's gotta be said.
But, I was worried. He chopped it.
Oh no! The grenade collision there. He can't make it through. That grenade actually blocked him, and now Fallen is going to be going down in return. Luminosity, this is the worst start possible. Taco going to be charging in. He does take out Yam. Close range, goes for a follow-up spray and drops you Stilo. And Taco, he's mad right now. He's angry.
Where did this come from? There's Taco doing a huge job. Entry fragger at his best. 2 key frags to bring them back into the round, Luminosity. And the incendiary goes down. Taco, he gets a third in! And this guy's sitting on 30 HP. Could be pulling a bit of an Azza, but he will get caught. No, that was FNX caught out looking the wrong way.
Did he just do a 360 spin? I think he did.
This is an MLG. We are in North America, but come on.
Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. Fur, that fire, is it going to spread to him? Not quite yet. If it does, he's dead. 1 tick would kill him, but I think JKS is not going to check the corner now. He feels like he already has with the Molotov, and he hasn't. Fur going to take a kill, and Sponge, it's all on him. This time, he has to clutch it. He picks up 1 kill, goes for a second one here. Cold Zero behind the statue, just waiting, and Sponge, he's got the kit, just tapping it once, turning around, and Cold Zero is going to be there. Luminosity, they will win the round in spite of an awful start. And Renegades, look, Semler, if this ends up with the Brazilian side, if they win this map, this is going to be one of the rounds they look at, because that was such a good start for them. Yeah. Kill Fallen for almost dead, and they still couldn't make it through.
With both of them on life support, I mean, Taco, what a magical round for him to come through on 3 big kills when he was low on HP as well with 2 of those. I mean, it's all about the individual plays, really, that are making the difference here for each of these teams. Azza for Renegades, JKS, Sponge, obviously, in the first round of this overtime. But that round was all about Taco. Now 16-16, tied up going into the last round of this first half of overtime, and it's Luminosity with the money for the full execute that they want to go for. It's Renegades, after losing that round, they have a UMP, they have an SMG, they have 2 weaker rifles to work with here, and hardly any nades to speak of, so it's all about landing the shots.
They do have the 4-man stack, but here come the Brazilian team as they're going to get the 1 kill in. Renegades, they're making this work almost flawlessly. Right now, Coldzera going to be going down. That's the bomb drop as well, and Asa going to go for it. That's a triple kill. What a round. He ends up at 31 kills. He's topping the scoreboard right now. Man, where does it come from?
That's what you need, and well, speaking with Sponge a little bit, right? He's so happy now that he has Astillo and Asa both. Astillo's been a bit quieter, right? But it's given Asa a lot of freedom because he doesn't feel like it's all on him. Between JKS, Astillo, Yam, I mean, everybody seems to be stepping up. But Asa in particular, he now gets to think, it's not all on my shoulders. You know, I've got guys behind me to do the work, and that seems to have just unlocked him. Now that he has that confidence, it seems to have just completely unlocked his capabilities.
Man, I'm very impressed right now. This is definitely, I mean, we did set up this whole match to sort of explain and to try to suggest that Luminosity were probably going to walk all over Renegades. That was the likely outcome. Now we're in overtime, and with Renegades winning 2 out of 3 rounds of the overtime on the CT side, that's a huge result. And maybe it's the economic reset as well. Think about how much they struggled in regulation on the CT side to have any kind of rifle. Now that overtime happens, they get the 10,000 starting money.
Yeah.
You know, we have a common friend that has a story about $10,000 and a good time in Vegas, I think it was. Maybe we'll hear that later on, but
Sure,
it's certainly
time between maps.
it certainly got Renegades fired up. I'm not sure they spent it on the same stuff that Richard was doing, but still a good time, I think. But that AWP, also Yam buying 2 of them and playing close to the plateau. The only thing that I'm wondering about is I mean, he did eventually get punished for playing that close to the plateau, but it's so dangerous when you have the rifle with the AWP that close. He made the no-scope work the once, but I mean, later on, you see Taco just running him down.
Yeah, it's all about the angles, right? If Yam is holding up close, what he's hoping to do is basically catch them before they get through that arch out onto the plateau itself. He's hoping to be able to get a pick there and start falling back with the support of his teammates. And instead, Taco's allowed to just jump right out through the smoke, right on top of him. It's just too much pressure for Yam at that point to be able to consistently hit those shots. But this was a big play here, just sticking that diffuse. Pros don't fake. And Sponge, you have him there, man. Sponge, he always gets hype as well.
Well, you say that, but there was like there was sort of a huge period in time where he wasn't, where he didn't say anything at all, which I think is a real shame. I want to see hype Sponge all the time. Yeah. I think it's great. But we're going to go into the second half of the overtime here. Renegades 2 rounds away from winning this first map here in the E-League, and certainly that would be a really big upset.
That would be massive. I mean, it's true. Hard to put it into words just how big of an upset that would be. One of the biggest upsets of the year so far if it actually happened, because Luminosity, they are not supposed to be losing out in this sort of situation. They're the ones who are supposed to come in here, manhandle the competition, take that first seed of the group, and go straight to the playoffs. And if they end up dropping a map to Renegades, that is going to make it a little tricky for the Brazilians.
Right, especially because Renegades is widely considered the worst team in this group. Yes. So, you know, you start losing to the worst team, it sort of begs the question what happens later on. Luminosity, no surprise here, going back straight to the AWP setup, the double up setup, but it's expensive. What
makes me curious now is, considering the performance that we're seeing from Renegades right now versus basically the best team in the world, what's going to happen when they go up against the North American teams later today and tomorrow? That's going to be nuts. They could just completely steamroll them.
Yeah, they could, but they're also getting a chance to see what's up here. You know, maybe they would want to ban out Cobblestone. In fact, I'd be surprised if a lot of teams didn't, because we do know that this is one of the maps that Renegades do quite well at. And maybe the rest of them aren't going to be quite as good.
Well, the push is setting up here for Renegades. Once again, they chose to go very slowly. 30 seconds left in this round to get that bomb onto the site, and they're only just now starting. Renegades, this is one of the slower executes. They really are not giving themselves a whole lot of time to work with here. JKS with that Molotov delayed. He gets it right this time. No chance for somebody to hide back there. And Asa, he's going to get the flash on FNX to start things off. So straight into drop, looking for that split. And Taco boosted up, doing big damage. Cold is there as well with the AWP to pick up a kill.
Well, that's impressive. Taco, just a turret up on that boost. And it's going to be Coldzera to close out the round. Triple kill for him. It looked so good with that opening frag in drop, but they just couldn't follow up on a great play from Taco in.
Yeah, Taco, man, on Cobble as well, he seems to come alive sometimes, and this is one of those maps where he just gets his time to shine. T-side loves to play up on Plateau, do a lot of work there to open things up for the bomb site for his team, and CT side, he likes to get up on that tree, but he also likes to play plateau, similar to what we were seeing from Yam. You can expect Taco to get up there and try and challenge players. So we'll see if he goes for that here on their CT side in overtime. But it's tied 17-17, and if this is going to be the only, you know, round of overtime that we're going to see, it's first team to 19 rounds here. So
yes,
Luminosity, they are capable, but Renegades, man, they're putting up one hell of a fight.
Yeah, we're going to find out now. Again, very defensive setup. Look how far away Yam is. He's actually all the way out in the open courtyard on the terrace side of the map. He's expecting that someone from Luminosity will come and look, and for almost, he was tempted. He wanted to do it. But right now, Renegades are just mostly wasting their own time.
Basically, just pause, sit, wait. And well, if they make the same mistake as the last round, this is where Renegades just need to show some bravery, some balls. They have to get out there and just go for the fight, because if they keep playing default slow, it didn't work for them in the first half. If they keep trying to do that here in overtime when Luminosity have all the money for the nades, we could see the same thing that happened in the last round. Although Luminosity, this time they do have an extra man over in Connector. Fallen, he can cheat back over to B very quickly.
Oh, a bit of a repeat there, and a great job for FNX taking out Azza, who's been such a force for Renegades. Now they're going to try and see if they can commit to this B bomb site, but I'm not sure about this one, Samuel. They got 4 men stacked right now, Luminosity at the B bomb site.
This is very slow play again. 30 seconds, and they're trying to get clever here. Boost so that Yam can look over the smoke, and he might catch somebody out there moving together. I like the timing. Good work coming in from Sponge. Astillo goes jumping through, and there we go. It actually works. Cold, point blank with the AWP. We'll find Astillo, however, and Fallen, he's in position exactly to hit that long line onto the site, drop the bomb carrier, and now it's all on Yam, 1v3, and he finds the first pick on Fallen, but he has so little time to play with here. 10 seconds, and it's just not good enough. Fur is there to shut him down, and Luminosity are now on match point.
I can't believe that worked. They actually managed to walk out on top of each other to look over the smoke. That's unreal. That's actually very, very hard to do, even though you've practiced a bit and stuff like that. That's unlikely to work. So now we're at 18-17 though. Luminosity, they will stay in the lead here, and they're just a single round away from taking this one.
Curious to see. Now Renegades backs her to the wall. It's time to go. You need to tie it up 18-18 to get that second round of overtime going. Otherwise, Luminosity, they are picking up the map. And once again, we go the distance and point blank. Cold is going to shut down Azza, and he gets the follow-up on Sponge, and he even hits that shot through the wall.
Wow, Cold Zero feeding his sniper rifle to the Australian team. Yustilo up here on the plateau. It's a 2-on-4 right now, and this is all they have to hold on to this overtime. Otherwise, Luminosity will eventually run away with the map here. Yustilo close range. He's going to go down Fallen with the AWP, and Yam now. He drops Fallen, making the last kill work for them, and Luminosity taking it in overtime here. 19-17 for the first map in Eleague.
Brutal to go all that way for Renegades and to fall short in overtime. It's so harsh. And they're not done yet. They still have another map coming up.
Yeah, and that's going to be potentially a more tricky and a more difficult map. I'm shocked, honestly, that Renegades sort of managed to push it that far. What a performance from them. I think they were playing a lot better than we were maybe expecting.
I think so as well, right? And it's hard to point out. I mean, Astillo didn't really show up in any huge way. We've seen him have an impact in the past, but this time around, it was that core. It was the 2 players that were talked about on the desk. Azza, JKS, they delivered. Well, I'm sure we'll hear all about it. We'll hear what the desk has to say after this short break. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be here for the breakdown.